Hello and welcome back to our game of Band of Blades. Hello. We've been on a long hiatus, but Christmas and stuff, and I'm very excited to be back to play this game again, and got into our magical forest. I am Mikael. My pronouns are they them. This is my channel, and I have. We are one man down, so I'm gonna, give a shout out to Paul, who's sick, unfortunately, but the rest of us is here, and you're going to be allowed to present yourself. You wanna start, Matthias? I hear you have very good production value after Christmas.
Do I? Oh, we'll see. Hi everyone, I'm Matthias. He, him pronouns, and Happy New Year's, everyone. Hope it's a good one for the Legion. Fingers crossed. Then I'll throw it over to Joelle.
Hello, I'm Joelle. I use she, her pronouns. I'm excited to be back. I can tell that I've been influenced from playing with you lovely people. I got a silly cat stacking game from my well-meaning partner's family, and hold on, do y'all hear that? Interesting. Spooky.
So that's what happens when you try to make jabs at.
I know. I was just gonna say. My first thought was, can I play Dread with this? So maybe in the future we'll have a game of Cat Dread.
We are very proud of our influence.
Okay.
And Jim.
Hey, I am Jim. I am really happy to be back at this. It was that was a long hiatus. It was a longer hiatus than usual, but I'm really thrilled to be back. I'm just in time to not be around next week because I'm headed off to another convention. So I know Mikhail from the Gauntlet. gaming community, gauntlet-rpg.com, where we played some stuff together, and now are just kind of spun off from that. And I'm really happy to be. I was really happy when he invited me to be part of his community that he's forming here, and I'm hoping that we'll get in some other really fun games once we wrap this, and maybe kind of alongside this. So I'm really looking forward to it. And if you're interested in what I'm doing with all the other gaming stuff I do, I'm actually a retailer. Behind me, you can see I've got games on the shelves there. Got some Josh Newman stuff here because I do his mail order for him, things like that. So you can find me online at Jim Likes Games on Twitter, and jimlikesgames.com on the internet. And I use pronouns for anybody that's keeping score.
Cool. Actually, we're going to go pretty straight into it, but first I watched like the last bit of our last session, and I just have to ask you, Joel, did you make a War Moose game yet?
No, not yet.
Well, we were very much looking forward to it, just so you know.
Okay.
And that also is what happened last episode. We got a War Moose in a epic showdown, and also our first journey into the forest, into the Diresh forest. So we didn't have a back at camp scene last time. So, and since our dear lore keeper is not here, it falls on me to tell a terrible tale, because of course I don't want to use poor lore keeper's last high morale story here. So, and I just thought, well, maybe I just dive into the low morale ones. I mean, we got to get there eventually, right? And I think so. I think this is, and I also wanted to see some kind of bit of the forest and how this is working and what's going on right now. So this thought that might be a nice scene to situate ourselves into our story again. Since last time, when we entered the Diresh forest with the help of the War Moose, making a path for the Legion, we have gone far into the forest. It is very much like this kind of thick pine forest, I imagine. So it's can be a little bit difficult to it's not very difficult to get around because there's not a lot of growth under. It's mostly pretty dark. It's also pretty wet and not a lot of food. So and the ground is soft, so it can be a little bit hard to drag all the carts and stuff. And your scouts have given reports that Blighter's forces are right behind you, corrupting every water source and every glade that they come by with their chemical concoctions. You also have, I think, so the prompt I chose was screams can be heard in the distance at all hours, preventing any rest. So I think this scene is set in the evening, and this is there hasn't been any screams or anything like that yet. But I think my voice is doing funny things. It's going to be interesting. So I think we are in probably the commander's tent, and I imagine you're probably playing your officers. Most of the camp has gone to sleep. There's the few shift of guards that always watching the camp. Probably this is planning what you're gonna do when you get out of the forest. The horned one has seems to be like not very concerned about the undead now, and most of the soldiers seem to be a little bit like affected of that. They seem to have their shoulders a little bit, be a little bit more relaxed about what's going on, since the Horned One seems to be more. That has said like that once we get into the thick of the forest will make sure that the undead doesn't catch up to us. And most seem to believe that. But when you're in the tent, I want to ask. I guess I want to ask Saya, the commander. Do you believe that?
So do I believe what?
That there's no reason to worry about the undead following us into the thick of the forest, the Talgon forest.
Oh, absolutely not. No, that is they're going to pursue us wherever we go. I do think that the forest is going to slow them down. But I also feel like we are walking a razor edge here between the forest as an ally helping us, get in the way of the undead, and the forest getting angry that we brought the undead in here. And so I am I am very concerned about making sure that we get through here as quickly as we can, that we deal with any of the, I think mostly what we would I would be concentrating on trying to cover our tracks to the extent that we can, and to target their scouts. Not if the main body of the force catches up to us, we'll deal with that when it happens. But I'm way more concerned with this is the kind of forest where we could be camped 100 yards away from, we could be camped 100 yards away from the camp of the main undead, and we might never see each other because of the way that it's all laid out like that. And this is a game of, cat and mouse with our various scouts trying to keep an eye on each other. Right now the fight is happening in between the two armies. That's where all the, that's where the tension is. And that's my main concern right now.
Yeah, so I imagine probably the conversation in the tent is probably about that kind of tactical movement that you're doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to.
Maybe I'm for a little bit of flavor there. Maybe I'm just giving an update and a rundown of the state of the troops, basically.
Yeah.
Right. So Marshal Adisha Manabur letting you all know. We've got the Star Vipers, the Silver Stags, and the Shattered Lions at full strength still. But the Wolves, Owls, and Ravens, all three, have taken losses.
We're going to be leaning on the Panyar here. This is their homeland, or at least they know their way around here, and it is going to be a while before we reach a place where we can recruit anybody. So we need to keep that in mind. There are not exactly trading posts along the way on this route that we've taken.
And I look over to our quartermaster and I say, well, what's more conservative than conservative? Because that's what we gotta do.
We can find more people. I can always find more people. Just
I mean, it's true the Panyards have been some of the most reliable and most forward-thinking groups of people with us who've taken the most initiative and leadership as well, Commander. So,
What is that they say? The odds are good, but the goods are odd.
And I raise an eyebrow because I've never heard that expression before. I kind of cock my head for a moment. Ah, yes, I understand. Yeah, I don't think that we will. Well, I mean, there are, and I kind of and I kind of like sort of cast my arms out and I say, for some reason, there are people who live here. I don't know why, but they do. So perhaps we can, if we come across them, we can refill our ranks. But I would not build my strategy upon that.
true.
Marshall.
Well, on one hand, we're being chased by the most terrible army you could ever imagine. But on the other, we've made it this far. So we gotta keep on going on.
Hopefully, at Skydagger Keep, they'll be ready. And what we'll be leading them towards is a battle where we can turn the table.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and I think as you say that there's like the head of one of the. I think maybe it is must be one of the.
Like a soldier?
Yeah, one of the Panyar actually. I think maybe it's Violet Charging Tide. Like puts her head into like the tent flap. Sorry, are you busy?
What is it, soldier?
Well, we've been hearing these sounds. It sounds like something is screaming. We can't determine what. And you're like, I think she says that you start to hear like this faint sound of like voices screaming.
And I kind of look at her and I say, I thought that was just a noise that the forest made.
Well, if it's the forest, I don't know. We can't find the source of it. Yeah, but it's behind us further than we want to go, and it's coming closer.
We just had a roll call. It's none of us, so who could it be? We haven't come across... Can it be that they've been dragging prisoners all the way from Plainsworth with them?
I sigh, and kind of look at the two of you, and go walking out of the tent, and just kind of like cock a head and put my ear to the wind.
Yeah, and I think as you do that, you probably stand there for about 5 minutes. In that time, it goes from being like something that you need to kind of really listen to hear to this like very steady sound of screaming, and it's a bit weird. Like it's a bit indeterminate where it's from, but also, I mean, this forest is a little bit weird, and I think Violet just like turns to you as she's standing there and says, "Well, I'm not sure. Maybe it's there was this Panyar family that we met a few days ago. They said that the forest didn't welcome us. I mean, could be. Maybe it's the forest.
We are counting. We're counting on those pursuing us being even less welcome in the forest than we are to get through it. So, like, does it sound like a person? Does it sound like an animal? Is it like just continuous? Is there kind of like, does it rise and fall? Are they stopping for breath? What's the nature of the sound?
Well, I think I think it's pretty like it is not completely continuous. It goes a bit up and down. Like sometimes it can be quiet for 5 minutes and then there's another scream. It's you're not sure if it's really coming from different directions. But also the forest is a little bit weird that way. You had this like encounter when you had this encounter with this family. You also thought they were in front of you, but they were in the back. So the forest is a little bit strange in that way. So it could be also a combination of the two.
I think having followed outside, I do this thing where like I turn away from Violet, so I'm standing a little shoulder to shoulder, and not in a way to hide something that I'm saying, but it's that it's very clearly I'm just talking to the commander, and I'm saying it's either a trap or just a simple move to break our morale, maybe both.
Yeah, and I think as you say that, you hear like the rustling in the tents of soldiers like turning on their like oil lamp, and like you hear some cursing. What the fuck is this? Is this the ghost owls or what?
I just kind of, and so I kind of walk into the middle of the camp and I say, "Everybody up!"
I think
yeah, go ahead.
Isaac had just been like sitting there like, I'm not getting up. I don't know what to do about all this. And then he's like, oh, I guess everybody probably means me too. And like heads out.
Yeah, and I think probably so I'm gonna ask you actually, Jim, since you're playing the commander, is this something you have drilled? Would everyone be trained in like getting up quickly?
Oh shit, yeah. No, they know that the last person who is up and out of their tent is like digging latrines.
Marshall, who is the last one up?
How mean do I want to be?
Which is to say the last rookie up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like this. So we don't make the specialists dig latrines. They've earned, or the soldiers, they've earned that.
Yeah. I guess it's liable. Who just draws the short straw, so to speak, this time.
Yeah, and he gets up out of the tent, and you see like everyone is lined up in front of the command tent in like rows, and he like tries to like sneak in. Who is the one who does the like calling out disciplining? Is it the marshal or the commander?
I think the commander says it once, and the way this is organized is whoever hears it of a squad needs to get the rest of their squad moving, because we don't have like the hierarchy of the Legion is a little bit wonky, right? Because we have like so many non-experienced people.
The commander, I think the commander has a ritual where whenever it's everybody fall in, whoever the last person that arrives is, I say, Cadet so-and-so, so glad you could join us. And that points that person out as, like, everybody knows that they were the last one there. And I don't berate them or say anything else. I just say that, and then I go on and do with whatever I'm doing. Yeah.
Also, there probably was never the order that the last one has to dig latrines. Everybody there must be a reason the commander called them out. So I think it's your job to dig the latrines.
Oh yeah. It's one of these. I love that it's kind of one of these informal customs.
Yeah.
That has kind of turned into that. That's like that's more recognized because it's an informal custom. That yeah. And it lets them razz each other and stuff like that. Gives us a thing to. So everybody falls in, and and I just point randomly at a rookie and I say, what's the worst noise you've ever heard?
Yeah, I think maybe it is. Let's see, maybe it is one of the Star Vipers. I think it's Baronet Tiana.
Oh yeah, because I always like to put the royalty on the spot like that to make them like answer to me. I do get a little kick out of that.
I think she like looks up to you and says, Commander, the worst thing I have ever heard is the sound of a skull crack. Commander.
And I put a hand on my chin and I nod. I said, "Not bad. That's good." This, and I kind of point like in the direction of the woods. This is just the music of the forest. These are the sounds that we're going to carry with us. You should get used to them now, because you're going to hear worse than this, and you're going to carry that sound with you for the rest of your lives. It may be the noise that's in your head when you die. So I'm going to send a couple of troops out to see if we can figure out what it is and possibly to deal with it. But if they don't, understand that learning to sleep through this is part of being a legionnaire.
Yeah, and I think actually Tiana, she like still is in like this. I think I'm establishing the Star Vipers as like the try hard squad.
Yeah.
And says, yes, Commander. The Star Vipers volunteer to do the scouting, Commander.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And I say they're not worried about losing sleep. And I say, and I just kind of, and I just dismiss everybody. Now go back to bed. Star Vipers, here.
Yeah, and I think probably, is there anyone who wants to add something to this scene before we cut it?
I mean, there's like Dame Katovika who like goes even paler than she usually is. We're going to find whatever that is, and there's probably like Elric who like just glares at Tiana for volunteering them.
Yeah, I mean it's always not always a perk to be in the squad with tryhard. Yeah. Cool. I think that's our scene. So now that we had our back at camp scene, we're going into our campaign phase. So, Commander, that means that time and pressure increases by 1.
Yeah, cool. Give me just a second to open up my sheet here. All right. So I add 1 to time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I add 1 to pressure, which was at 0, so it goes up to 1. There we go.
Yeah, and the quartermaster spends 1 food to feed the legion, or the legion loses 2 morale.
Okay.
Cool. And then it is your campaign actions.
Yeah. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Are we out of food? Quartermaster. Are we out of
We
food?
have 3 more. No, we have 3 more. The place before last was like full of food, so we got a lot.
Oh, okay. Because oh,
Yeah,
so,
there were like
I think I
markets and
started
stuff
doing
in the
it-
city we left.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I started marking them like the wrong way. Red is like uses left. So
oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Now I got you. Because I was like, yeah, the 2 other ones, I was like, okay, 1 food source is like used up now. So, okay, fine. Good.
yeah, I did it backwards and
Yeah.
just have stuck with it.
Okay, so we've got like 3 total left at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I was just like,
No.
Yeah, time to. I mean, that might happen. We'll see.
Yeah.
So your campaign actions. What is the Legion up to in the free time to prepare themselves for the further battles and things?
Oh. We lost the commander. Oh,
Sorry, still here. I just turned my camera off for a sec.
People are still in the same block, it seems, so good. What kind of campaign actions are you doing, Quartermaster?
I don't know how much morale we have, so first I need to ask that.
Marshall, you're muted.
we're at 4, 6, 8. So we have 2.
Okay. So I think probably the first thing to do is a rest and recuperation. Which
Which I love that everyone's like, okay, we're gonna show the commander we can sleep through this shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
defiantly sleeping.
Yeah.
And it affects cadre, so it is boosted.
The cadre's in rough shape.
Yeah, it very much affects him.
Yeah.
The text for that is take time to let soldiers tend wounds and rest. Each legionnaire marks a tick in any harm row. Once a row's healing ticks are full, erase the ticks and injuries in that row. If you wound a mercy, 1 specialist gains an extra healing tick. And then if I had a mercy wounded, I would heal them. But I was trying to do some simple maths earlier, and I think the boosted takes care of everybody's injuries except for Kingfisher, who needs 3 ticks total. And I do have a mercy who's unwounded, so I will use the mercy to give Kingfisher his last tick.
How does that affect? Does stress go away as well?
No, stress is Liberty takes that away.
Okay.
So everyone's still on edge the next morning,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
body's got some rest, actually.
Yeah.
And then
Makes
if
so much
we're
sense.
high morale, then I get 2. Are we moving on after this, Commander?
Oh yeah, we are getting the heck out of this forest as fast as we can.
All right, I should probably use a supply then. Well, no, I can use one. So I think, how are we for stress?
The cadre's got 5 marked right now.
Okay.
I don't
Marshall,
know
do you know about
who else? Let's see.
everybody else?
Russet is pretty stressed out, or
Uh,
we're actually fine on stress. Like There's so many
Dr.
people who
Boom's okay.
haven't taken traumas yet, so
Dame Aurora's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Dame Aurora's got 5.
yeah. If you actually click on the marshal, you can see the overview.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And I'm just going through.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Oh, that's super suave.
I mean, I gotta do the upkeep. It's not automatic.
Yeah,
but it's there. So we have but right, very few people have suffered trauma. So
except you don't have the specialists on there.
They are on there too. If you scroll down,
where I'm missing them.
Underneath the squads.
They're grouped into their specialist category.
Oh, I see. Got it. Heavy medical officer. Got like that. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Like all of our special, we've got some stress with the specialists.
But it's people like that's fine. We can push them. They're specialists after all. Well, that's the marshal's opinion.
The scout has to go out today, right?
Sure. Probably
for engagement.
Yeah. So for our viewers, we're going into when we're advanced, we're going into the Talcon forest, which means that all special all special missions in Talcon require a Panya to lead them, or they suffer 1D engagement roll, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So, but that was a special mission.
Yeah.
Primary one.
Is secondary a scouting mission?
No, it's the religious one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're all religious.
I can still send more specialists on there, so it's fine.
Are you just saying that because you want people to take traumas?
To get XP.
Yeah.
Can we recruit?
Yeah. I'm just thinking of if I should do a boosted recruit, which would give us 2 soldiers, or a recruit and a liberty. I know the marshal wants soldiers.
Yeah, but feel free. Like you can. I don't have a super strong opinion on it. Feel free what you find most interesting. I think.
Okay, I think story-wise, it's kind of like I like seeing the rookies level up.
Yeah.
So, I think for my second action, I'll do a recruit, which gets us up to 5 rookies.
Mm-hmm.
And
probably just for Marshall here, probably who we recruited is either Panya living here or all the money hunters.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, the question is, who do we find? Like, is this an actual, like, a group of a couple of people, 5 out of which are actually fit enough to bear arms, and maybe there's more people than just soldiers, or I imagine there's like a couple of. Well, that's a whole different conversation. I don't want to get sidetracked. But who do we find? Does the scouting party find them, and send them back on their secondary mission, or?
Yeah, I think we've got all these. We described all these scouts out there, out and about, and stuff like that.
And they trip over like some refugees, or?
I mean, it totally could be a mix of, like you said, if there's like whatever, fur trappers or traders or something out there, and a cabin in the, somebody living in a, in a cabin out in the, in the middle of the forest, something like that. And we're like, look, the army's coming, sign up with us, and we'll, the undead are coming, and, that they're going to raise this place. And if you want to live, you better come with us.
Yeah. Or if we wanted it to be not all Panyar, we had a couple of like people like following the Legion for food scenes ago. Maybe it's like the ones that were determined enough to keep following the commander's like, all right, let them in.
Yeah.
They've shown that they're like, you know, can persevere or something like that.
Might as well work for the food.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then that's the second one. And then I think I'll just spend a supply to get a Liberty, which clears up to 3 stress. And increases the morale by 2.
So, I mean, this is what does the Liberty look like here? Because I mean, I imagine that when you're in a town or anything, people would, go outside the camp, but I don't imagine that being the case here.
I think it looks like we find like a really like a badass like waterfall with like a big clear pool that people can take a bracing cold swim in and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and maybe not like a towering thing, but like a thing where like there's a cliff there and some water comes down the side and it makes this nice pool, and like the fish in it haven't been poisoned yet and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it says like good food and drink is provided and things like that. So it could be like there's nothing that we could like take with us really, like fresh fish, but we can find stuff like that for people to eat, and like so they don't have to just eat beef jerky again.
Yeah, like whatever, luck into like half a dozen big fat turkeys or something like that. That's
Yeah, cool. I like that. I think I imagine probably like in the TV series, you see like this small cutscene of them finding this waterfall, and probably like you see Dame Katowice like just like getting her head up over the water and just like saying like pretty loudly so everyone can hear, like you can't hear them screaming underwater. It's great, and just like go down again.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty great. Yeah, I like that.
Awesome. That was our campaign actions, and then the Legion advances. So then you will roll pressure to see how much time you accumulate.
Okay, so I do that on the commander sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's see. For our viewers, we have currently filled 1.5 pi of time. That means we are halfway, technically. Even though that we have our next mission is can give us -1 time in reward. So we'll see. But
do we have horses to spend?
With lots, right?
Horses.
Can I use one of our horses here?
Yeah. Time? Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So our pressure is at 1, so we roll pressure minus horses uses spent, and then add time. And add time below. All right, cool. So we're rolling 0 dice, which means I roll 2 and take the lower, right?
Yep.
Okay. So do that to 0. Pressure. Bonus dice 0. That's a 4. It only rolled 1 die.
It's weird. You can roll a...
I'll just roll a second time.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh well.
It rolled properly that second time, but I got 1 and 2 on both of that second roll. So
yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
So you add 1 time.
Excellent.
Cool. So time to present our
And then
primary.
I can move us to the Talcon Forest, right?
You can, yes. Your great honor of moving our token.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't mess around with that, my friend. Yeah.
Cool. So as you're traveling in the forest getting very like darker and thicker. It makes it pretty difficult to traverse the terrain. After long last, you get to like this kind of camp in the middle of the forest. The Hornwall calls it the Harug, which is some kind of holy site. You see, probably like all the Panya going in there are doing, probably does some ceremonial stuff. I'll let you define that, I think, afterwards, actually, because that's kind of cool. The holy site is kind of like ringed with these kind of carved stones. There is an opening in the forest here, and you haven't seen one for days. There's no real reason why there should be, as far as you can see, but there's like no. It's just like this kind of green meadow, no trees, and there is like this kind of in the middle. There's these kind of like smooth stone platforms with holy patterns carved into them. There's like this small around like the opening. There's like these small alcoves carved into trees and ornate pathways that lead into them. The soul, there's a attendant of this site. There's like this dour robed man named Rowan, who is this kind of priest to the Horned One. I think probably as you're coming there is first, probably pretty happy to see the Horned One. It seems to be like a pretty special occasion for him to say it like that. But then also gets pretty upset when the Horned One brings a whole legion. But I guess, since it is the chosen coming here to her shrine, he keeps it to himself. Yeah, and and I think we can go into like just describing our missions here. Our primary mission for this session is Operation Crimson Fire. It is a religious mission, and I think basically what happens here is that Rowan, he informs you that. Well, I guess you kind of talk to him, and when you say that undead are following you, he like falls to his knees and says, "Well, that means that this site will get lost, and the power of the Horned One." And I think looks at the Horned One probably standing there, and she says, "Well, not if we defend it," and looks at the commander, and I think she also says like there are ways to make undead unwelcome, but I need your help. So yeah, that's our mission. So what we're gonna I imagine that this is a kind of thing where you can define a little bit yourself how your approach to this is, but I am definitely like leaving it open for you to do other things than fight them if you want. And the reward for the mission is -1 time plus 2 XP, and there's a favor. It's a favor mission, Mystic. So there's definitely there could be some like weird forest spirit stuff on the cards if we wanted to, which also will bring our chosen one to level up. So extra good occasion. Does anyone have like any ideas of how you want to solve this?
I think we want to do something that so we've like I would love to play with something that's a little kind of Fey-like almost, where we get together with the Horned One and we do some kind of ritual that just sort of shifts this place out of time or like just kind of makes it, just casts a veil over it so that the undead go right by it or something like that. But basically, I think what we want to do is we don't want to like if we just stand and fight, they'll poison the water, they'll burn it down, we want to do something so that they pass it by. And then because they're just going to pursue us. And then when they're gone, like whatever happens to us, this forest is going to be here like long after our bones are dust. And we only need to hide this place from them long enough for them to pass through in their pursuit of us.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe it's like a smaller scale version of what Gerholt did to hide the passage into the forest. Or something.
Yeah, that's cool. How would you go about like that seems like some kind of enchantment, or I don't know, something like that maybe. How would you go about achieving that?
We light the crimson fire.
Oh yeah, cool.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, sure. What is the crimson fire? I mean, I imagine I'm just because we're gonna do the engagement roll after this. So I'm just like preparing myself in case we get into a desperate situation here, or what that might look like.
So I think what it is, I have an idea. You know how certain types of pine cones only open to under heat, right?
Oh my god, like when there's a forest fire. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And like those need to be gathered, and then they like we're like artificially putting them in a fire to make them smaller, and so it's like their insides get really heated up, and then they open up, and that lets like the natural magic of the forest come out, right? Because like fictionally there's no like magicians or anything in the Legion itself, right? It's more the land that's like magical, and maybe that's why the Chosen One was like so well. Now we do not need to worry as much about the undead, because here are ways where they will like be led astray, their senses will falter, that kind of thing. So it's about that.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, also like the magic of the forest is a fickle thing. It's not like something you can just. That's definitely like how it could go wrong, possibly in your engagement role here.
Yeah, and I really kind of am enamored of the forest doesn't like any of us. We're just hoping it likes the undead less.
Yeah.
kind of relying on that. Yeah.
And it definitely creates like probably hallucinations for us as well, and like those are typical dangers. And who knows, like there's no difference between a hallucination and an actual vision, or right? At least for
and
us.
That's all. Yeah, and that's all Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare fairy magic stuff with like time getting out of joint and all of that sort of thing. Yeah, for sure.
I love that. I have a very good idea of what possibly could go wrong here. Cool.
And also, this makes perfect sense for the secondary mission then, which is Broken Wolf, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be like, this might, like, just doing this might draw attention to us, so we need a diversion thing that they go to. Like, there needs to be an attack to buy us enough time to actually get up to this stuff, or something like that. Or to lead them astray enough, like something to throw at them to keep them busy before maybe like one of the broken notices what we're getting up to and tries to intervene before it gets into full effect.
Yeah, absolutely, because that reward of time assumes we send them off somewhere and like they lose track of us for a little while to give us extra, buying us some time. So yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Also, I am very hyped about like describing forest fairy magic kind of things. Awesome. Let's assemble our engagement roll.
Yeah. So.
Oh, do I get a? I have one intel, so I think I can ask an intel question, right?
Yes. You can ask two actually, probably one for the. One intel and one for 0.
Oh, that's right. Cool. Give me just a second here. The intel questions. Oh, the intel questions are not on my sheet, are they? They are not. Are they in the rule handout?
Let's see if I can find them.
Let's see. Oh, no. The rule handout is... There's not like, that's just a single page. Let me see if I'm pretty sure I've got it on my machine here. Yeah, cool.
Here they are. They're on page 123.
123?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. All right, cool. All right, field one or more intel. Also ask one of the following questions. Who's invested in this?
Who's invested in this mission?
Yeah.
Well, I think that the Panya are all the Panya of probably of the Legion are very invested in this. If this mission would go wrong, it will definitely be like a big blow to them.
Okay. And then if you hold 0 or more, I guess what's the highest threat we can expect?
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good question. I think, I imagine these kind of like kind of threats you might face here will be of like a different form than usual. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say probably threat 4
Yikes. Okay.
seems to be like appropriate. I mean, the forest magic is pretty powerful, I imagine.
Okay. So this is, I mean, like, just because it's not undead doesn't mean that we can relax or not worry about fallout from this. So that's actually good information to have.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then we can engage, do the engagement roll, and we'll do a little break and go into the mission.
Yep. So on the primary mission, the Marshal is sending the Amber Wolves. I just closed it. Oh wait, no, I'm mistaken. Did it? No, that's. This is. It's a tough choice. No, because like we already saw one squad do a ritual stuff thing before, and I think they need to be the ones to do it again because they're the most attuned to it, which means the ghost owls, and it's probably the Ember Wolves, probably going to be the ones that are. Well, I'll decide that when we get to that role, right?
Yeah, to the secondary mission.
Yeah. Or no, I have to decide it now. I think, yeah. Okay, so decision is on the primary missions, the ghost owls go with with Rusted Raging Tempest leading them, and Emilio in tow.
Mm-hmm.
And on the secondary missions, it's going to be the Shattered Lions, because we've established them as cavalry, who'll try to draw our pursuers away. And they will be led by Aurora. Well, they will be led by by Aurora and Anthracite.
Hard decisions for the Marshal.
I think I have to send Anthracite with them. Like we need. Now, what was the rule?
It's only for special missions, so you don't.
Oh,
need
okay. So I don't actually. Okay, then because Anthracite, that didn't sit well with me. They're like about different stuff. No, I'm actually sending Aurora and Valentina. I think we need to cause some ruckus there. So one of the heavies and an officer. So it looks believable that it's like a viable thing there.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, we can talk about who wants to play. Like I'm pretty open about that. In the break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So engagement role. Are all on the mission oath sworn to the Legion? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Did the commander spend 1 intel to give you foresight and info?
Commander.
Let's see. Yeah, I got 1 left. Let's spend it on this. We want this to work.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the info is probably the thing with the pines, right? With
Yep.
the pine cones. So that's 2 dice. Veteran, not everyone is a specialist or soldier. Leadership, does any legionnaire distrust the leadership or not fear them enough to obey orders on the battlefield? I don't think we have an issue there, right? So no penalty. Are required specialists or equipment on the mission? Yeah, so we've got Russet with us, and we also have Emilio, who has enough, I think, like just lore knowledge for this thing. Yeah, and then it's a religious mission. Arcane, did the quartermaster send religious supplies to ward and protect the legionnaires? Like, did you actually have? Are you the one who has the pine cones? Is that the religious supplies here? Or what do you think?
Yeah.
Or do we not have?
We have 2. I'm just trying to think because, like, in ones where we fight undead, do you think corruption is on the table? Probably. In the forest magic? Because in ones where we fight undead, adding the religious supplies gives everybody a reliquary for free, which is super valuable.
Yeah, so we're not. I don't think we're fighting undead here. Corruption can still be on the table though, but
so then we would still possibly need reliquaries. So
but like that's part of people's, like, people can pack that as their load, right? We need like 1 person or 2 or whoever to carry that kind of stuff. Like, it's fine to say no. We already have 2 dice.
I'm just thinking.
I'm looking over the rest of them because we get a penalty if we have someone with corruption on here, but none of the Ember Wolves carry corruption, and I don't think. Oh wait, is it corruption or blight? No, it's blight, right? Yeah, okay. If anybody's carrying blight, but I don't think. No, we're good on the blight question. So we have 2 dice. So if you want to save it, fine by me.
I think we can use it.
Okay, then it's 3 dice. We ready? Nice. That's a 6. We start in a controlled position.
Nice.
Which sounds like we're in a good place, probably, regarding our enemies. Can like fully concentrate in doing the ritual properly.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you describe what you're doing and roll appropriately from a controlled position, and then we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's have a little 10-minute break here, and then we'll get right into the action once we are back.
Okay. So, see you, everyone.
Welcome back. We are going into mission mode, and I'm going to frame the scene here. So I think probably you see like a small like vignette of the rest of the Legion starting to like leave, moving on, and the cavalry, the Shattered Lions, that is, right? Moving. I guess I'm just a little curious here, Marshall. Where I'm going to also go back. I think the forest has changed a little bit here. It's not pine forest anymore. It's more leaf forest, big trees. And the bigger problem is like the roots here, because they're so old, big, and kind of like all over the ground. So, and I was just like curious in terms of like how they maneuver with the horses in this forest. How does it look as they like go with their horses towards the enemy to make the distraction?
So I think what they're doing is they're leading them by foot, and they also are going to be on quite a bit of a journey, because they're not taking the direct route towards them. They will like circle a good way around them at a place where our scouts have found, there's like an opening, like there's an opening in the forest, there's a meadow there, and they intend to draw them there to like actually be able to pull a charge on them, then pull them more into a northern direction, away from our where the actual ritual's taking place. And I think this happens. So it's religious defense. They're being sent on a very dangerous mission and a long time alone. So I do think they're being sent off. The Marshal has them meet with the Chosen, or rather like being sent off by the Chosen One. So they pass by the Chosen One on their way off, and each one of them like stops to give like a brief more or less silent prayer. Well, I guess the Horned One just looks on like the way she is, right? As if she's looking through each of them. And yeah. And that's how they ride off, or lead the horses off that they have.
Cool. So I think like as they ride off, you see the ghost dolls standing there with together with the specialists in front of like just in the clearing, start of the clearing that it is holy site, and you hear like the breeze going through the trees, like rustling, and you actually notice that for the first time in a long while it's completely quiet. So you're in a controlled position. That means that I just want you to kind of like set up what you're actually doing, and I'll and determine what you're rolling to start this kind of ritual. I think I'm making a 8 o'clock for it.
So everybody needs to choose load first. Emilio's going in heavy. I'm packed with stuff. And it's like most of that doesn't look like your typical military things. So Emilio's got like books, tomes with him, and scrolls and like bandoliers of concoctions and things like that. Yeah. So Emilio's load is definitely, I mean, it brings the armor with it, but like I'm not taking any of the extra things there.
And Russet.
We're already like in the place, right? So I think I might go heavy also to get that like fine armor just in case.
Yeah. Did you do check your special abilities? Because you've got Panther-like grace, but it's depends on what you want to do.
My traits are bonus to insight and resisting corruption.
Yeah, and your special abilities.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's good. Okay. So maybe normal then? Harm reduction sounds
because
good.
I'm thinking the way we've set this up, this is not a thing that's like done in an hour or two, right? I think it might take time. Like we need to like keep a fire going or kind of a furnace type thing.
Okay.
This is not one of those things where we get free reliquaries, right?
No.
You do because
spend,
we spent
yeah.
religious supplies.
Oh, we did. Okay, cool.
What if fine lenses do?
They help with scouting, probably.
Okay. Complete opposite, maybe. Then I'll just go light. Yeah.
Cool. And what about our dumb friend?
So Liavel, I think, so the reliquary doesn't cost load, right? Because we've got that as part of the religious thing. Okay. To utility, huh? Yeah, I packed along a hand weapon, which in this case is like a hatchet, like a machete. Not a machete, but like a tomahawk, like a hatchet or a tomahawk for, if we need to like chop limbs or whatever, something like that. And my cooking kit, because we're talking about like we need fire, we need flints, we need steel, we need, whatever. I don't know that we're necessarily going to need to boil water or anything like that, but I've got my cooking kit with me.
Mm-hmm. So you're going normal?
Yeah. Normal cooking kit hand weapon are my utility things.
You get to pick a second utility.
Oh, sorry. I thought the thing that was underneath there
you
was...
get all of normal, so you're getting cooking kit and fresh food.
Oh, okay. And I can choose a second utility. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be oil if I've got cooking stuff. So yeah, I've got a hand weapon and some oil. Oh, or do I want to bring supplies? Supplies is just kind of general stuff.
It's food, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then oil, because I've already got food. So.
Okay.
Cool. So how does this we
we found these ritualistic stones, right? So that was a thing. Yeah, and I think the first thing we do is Emilio instructs everyone. Okay, now around these stones. Well, we need to. So these pines, they will need to be set up in there, but we need to actually build a pyre around it, a furnace that we get going that will burn for a long time. So I think one of the first things I want to do is rig, basically build this thing that will like probably might also need to get those supplies, or not supplies, but get like firewood and stuff ready and going. So that might be a thing what people could help with. Yeah. So I want to rig up and basically build this thing where it's going to start a slow, long, smoldering kind of furnace where the pines can be put into.
Seems controlled standard effect to me. Do you want to push for effect?
Actually, don't. Controlled standard sounds pretty good for what we need. We've got an 8 clock, and this is just building the thing around it, right? And I think the longer we can stay on controlled, the better. And I don't want to start. Yeah, I think we've got this.
Yeah, well, pushing for effect is using stress to get, so you don't have to escalate the situation, just to make sure you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think at this point there's much to like. I think Emilio's this is a concentrated work. Like there's more stuff ahead that's he's more worried about what's coming up afterwards, and in between. Well, we'll see about that later. Like he's got like at a safe space, at a safe distance to the fire, or what's going to be the fire set up are like his alchemicals and stuff like that. Yeah. Question is if oh yeah, and I'm like, okay, you got that hatchet, or what's that thing you've got there, Livel?
I hold it up and I say, "This is it's a hand axe, sir. I've been learning to throw it. Do you want me to show you?"
No, not throw it. You see the wood we gathered over there?
Yeah.
I need you to remove all the bark off it, the wet bark. We'll need it later, but not now.
So you want to save the bark?
Yes, save the bark and the rest pile up against the stones on the sides here over there.
You got it.
And I'm completely trusting. Like that could mean a helping die if you want to assist me.
Yeah, so what do? I would spend a stress to do that?
Yeah, that's one stress.
Yeah, totally do that.
Cool. Okay, so that will be 3 dice for controlled standard. And I guess here comes the roll. Yeah, we do it.
Cool. So I think this takes place like over a bit of time. You fire up the fire and you see like these pine cones start like burning and nothing like happens for a little while. the smoke is going. I don't know. Do you know what is supposed to happen?
Yes. So I've got like my tome, and I think as like, because it needs a time to start smoldering. We don't want to like big burning fire. It needs to create heat and gather that slowly, right? And that's when I maybe like sit down with the others. So, if I read this right in this tome, what's supposed to happen is, if the heat is right and long enough, the pine cones are supposed to open up and will emit. Well, it actually says fairy dust. I'm not sure what it means, but there are like notes on the side scribbled here that say, beware of your breathing and lots of smoke development, even mist, question mark. Well, so what I'm expecting is our sightlines to decrease drastically, whatever is going to happen. But I've got, I don't know, maybe this is poisonous or not. I do have some supplies for us there. It should, well,
should we have a password, sir?
Password? For what?
Yeah, well, like if we can't see each other,
Yeah.
then we'll know, like, that it's not, you know.
Good thinking, good thinking. We do need a password. You think up a password of ours. And I've got this thing here prepared, and I want to pull out so maybe this is the next action already here, and afterwards it's going to be more what all of you do, because I want to do a research action, and because I have got chemist. And I actually want to use all uses of my bandolier here. So for 4 people, I can give 4 people something that will help them not need to breathe the fumes for a scene. And I think I hand them out, like, this was hard to get, and I couldn't make enough of these in time, and I hand them out, and then I look to I think I looked to Russet, but I guess you're off the land, right? I don't think it might affect you the same way.
Well, maybe it'll be worse.
Why would it be worse?
I mean, because, you know, like Russet's like attuned to it, and maybe it'll, you know.
I haven't thought of that.
I'll be okay. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'll just stay out of the smoke.
I kind of so designated leader is actually Russet, right? I'm just like bullshitting my way here through the lore stuff. But so I actually look over to Russet to like. Yeah.
Out of character for Ghost, well, and I guess for Scrounge, could I use Scrounge to kind of come up with like some kind of like something to put over my mouth, basically?
I think you can probably just have that, because that's just like, I think that's the idea. Like, I've like drenched things so people can cover themselves or can cover their mouth and nose, but like I don't have enough for everyone to have this have like the special deep medical alchemy that lets you hold your breath for a scene.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there was like
but
something I could do to
you've
make
got-
it a little bit.
I mean, you've got incredible resists, so
Okay. Yeah, I think Russet just kind of shrugs and is like, "You're probably right. It may not affect me as much. And if it does, we'll have to deal with that at the time."
So I'm like holding out one remaining one between the two of you, not knowing who to hand it to right now.
Live will take the thing.
Okay.
No, don't put it on yet.
Wait. What? No, I thought you said we're supposed to put it on.
No, when the time comes. Careful with that.
Okay.
You don't have to breathe once you pull it over your, and once you actually suck in what's in the tissue there.
Okay.
This might be a little bit disconcerting, because if you don't have to breathe, a weird thing happens. You actually stop breathing. So remember to breathe when you can. You just won't suffocate. Does that make sense?
I don't think that's something I'm gonna forget.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Can I? Is it? Can I tie it around my neck? Is that?
Yes. Have it at the ready. It will react with your saliva. I think that's what should happen. So I want to research that these things are actually like correct, and so I'm imagining. So okay, I'm gonna give you what I imagine. Emilio thinks what's going to happen here, and if I've read the book right, or he has read the tome right, this will be about making it smoke a whole lot, and the smoke will actually turn into mist, and that will be part of what will cover parts of the forest and move through the forest, and it will probably also be the thing that will like cause the actual magic stuff to happen, which I don't have any idea about what that's going to look like, but yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that probably what's at stake here for like failure consequences is that the like poisonous effect is going to last longer than you anticipated. So which means like it's going to be a more dangerous situation. You have to find some way to kind of like avoid getting harmed by it.
Yeah.
We're just enduring inside the thing, finishing like the ritual.
Yeah, and that's like it. Like maybe it won't poison you, but it might still like affect. Like you might still basically take it into you, right? So it might affect your other senses and stuff like that. So who knows?
Yeah, in game terms, probably corruption or something. We'll see. Yeah.
And I think like I was like saving the bark, like the wet bark. So I'm pointedly want to make this smoldering thing smoke a whole lot, because I'm thinking that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I know how to describe this.
Okay.
So you just roll, and I'll describe what happens.
What's my position here?
I think still controlled, and standard. I mean, you succeeded at your first roll, so
yeah. And I think I do want to push it now to great effect.
Yeah. So mark 2 stress.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone helping?
I don't even know how in this case, right? I'm going through what the book says.
Yeah.
Unless anyone is like, oh no, yeah, no, I'm has a great idea, then.
No, that's cool. Seems good.
Okay. Well,
that's
not a success.
Yeah.
Emilio doesn't know anything about not inhaling.
Yeah, I think
I passed. Like maybe one could be like I've got 4, right? We've got but we've got 6 people here, so actually 2 miss out on this protective thing. And I'm like, oh, and maybe I just forgot myself in that.
Yeah, I think
I love that you were so gung-ho to be like, not yet, not yet, not yet, that you actually then didn't do it when you're supposed to.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
cool. So I think you see like the smoke starting to like come, and it's like this. It covers the entire glade, and what's strange about it is that it's not really going up. It's just like going sideways and staying. And soon you find yourself like engulfed in this thick blanket of smoke, and like sure thing, this protective thing it does help you a little bit, but you see. I mean, I don't know what you expected to happen, but
I expected the heat to make the pines open up. That's what the tome said, but I now can't see anything. What's happening inside the smolder, because it's smoking a whole lot, and but I'm still like saying no, I will keep. Like we've got a thing set up where you're like pumping air into it so that it like don't ever stop that, like keep the pump going. And I'm like,
oh yeah, like a bellows. Sure, yeah,
okay. A bellows, yeah. And I'm like trying to like at least get a glimpse, and then like I get like smoke directly in my eyes, and
yeah, I think you all
because I still get like 1 tick right on the clock with this. I still get 1 tick with the. Oh no, I don't get any ticks, right? Yeah.
No. So I think actually what
Where's the
happens
clock,
here,
by the way?
It's down by East Lake.
Yeah, got it.
So I think what happens here is actually that it didn't happen the way you thought. You don't know because you don't really see it, but the pine cones are not opening. It's not warm enough. You're not managing to do it the way you wanted, and there's like this smoke coming, and it's obvious to you that well, you don't. You probably also realize that this is not working the way it's supposed to, because the smoke was supposed to be not just like smoke; it's supposed to be fairy dust, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it didn't go the way you're supposed to, and now you're in the situation where you don't see anything. I think you start to hear like I think you started to hear like the sound of bells actually around you, very close. Suddenly there's like this sound right behind you, but when you turn around, you just you don't see anything, and if I think if someone. You hear someone like getting frightened. Probably another one in the squad. Let's see, maybe
the other new one is just freshly recruited. So the other recruit is just like, we got stuck with it. We have an extra person here. The ghost owls are understaffed, so here you take them. So I don't think they know what's really happening. And what they gotten themselves into, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mechanically speaking, here you're in a risky situation.
Yeah, because I'm also yelling now. Okay, it's not hot enough. We need to get it hotter.
What do you do?
Could now I use Ghost to use Scrounge to as special armor against traps or detection? I'm thinking more detection when I hear the bells.
So to resist it? Because I'm not sure if you're detected in that way. I imagine these being kind of like I don't know, forest creatures or something like that. I don't even know if they're actually real or not yet as the GM. But
maybe like as a I guess I was thinking maybe more as like a setup action that would help give us more time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell me how you do it.
Okay, so I think it's kind of like using scrounge, so I like go into everybody's backpacks and like get all the blankets and stuff out and start like almost trying to like box us in so the smoke is more like contained to this area.
Mm-hmm.
And hoping that like and the heat as well, and hoping that even if it's kind of more miserable for us, that might sort of contain the whatever is attracting the bells.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, sure. You can mark a use of your special armor. But the ritual is still not happening.
Can I set this up? I want to set you up level because I think you see like the Dr. Boom standing there, and I'm like looking at the fire, and like I'm like, there's like this thing. I know how to get it hotter, but that's like Dr. Boom only knows extremes, right? It would go boom, and so that's how I'm looking at my alchemicals, right? And trying to decide, I can't like toss black shot in there, right?
Just a little black shot as a treat.
Like, yeah, and I come over there, and I come over to you, and I say, and I'm like waving my arms because like we can barely see each other through the smoke, and I'm yelling, do you need it to be bake a pie hot or cook a roast hot?
What? Oh, I guess it kind of needs to be like, you know, when you got a pig on a spit and you actually have to get it through the whole afternoon. But it's not hot enough for that.
And I say, oh, okay, loaf of bread hot, and I reach into my pack and I pull out some of my and oh, you know what? And I grab some of that bark that you had me set aside, and I kind of look at it for a second, and it's damp, so I shrug, and I just like grab half a dozen sheets of it and just soak it in that oil, and just start tossing them onto the fire. And I'll use up that bottle of oil that I have there.
Actually, what are you rolling with here, you think?
Man, I'm not good at any of this.
Do you have any points on rig?
No, I've got like I've got like skirmish. I've got skirmish, shoot, maneuver, and then like consort, marshal, and sway.
Well, you can always get a dice from pushing yourself, right? So
I can. If I use up all my oil, can that or does the oil just make this possible?
yeah, I think so. You
Okay, got it.
Without it.
Yeah, I'll push myself.
I'll give you an extra. Let's say I'm going to give you an extra effect for it. Actually,
Got it. Cool. I'll push myself here. So 2 for that. Do I get anything from your? Oh, the setup is just fictional positioning, right?
if you want
When
to
you
use
said-
a stress to make it
I meant like a fictional setup, and I would probably like once I see you what you're doing, I'll start helping, and I'll actually help you and assist you and give you.
Cool.
I'm actually
'cause I
letting
know
you
that-
take the lead, and I'm a little bit confused, but I'm there helping. But that's what's
Well,
causing me the
and-
stress.
Yeah, and I think what'll happen is that like I've soaked the wood's wet, but it's soaked in oil, so that will like the oil will get it burning, which will like wick the water away, and then it will, because it's bark. Once
Yeah.
it catches, it'll turn into coals pretty quickly. So yeah, it'll smolder a bit, but then once it gets going, it'll be literally exactly like the fire I made when we went on vacation a month ago. So where the wood started out wet, and I was just like, let me just put a little of this stuff on it, and that solved the trick. So, all right. So,
So you get a bonus die from me.
okay,
So you are at risky and great effect.
great.
You can
Okay.
also change position for effect if you want to make it desperate and more.
I'm gonna stick with risky. I'm gonna stick with risky and great. I think that's what I want to do here.
I'm just tempting you.
Got it. Yeah. So, so basically, so this is what am I rolling? I'm rolling rig.
Yeah, seems good.
With 2 bonus dice.
Position risky.
Yeah.
Effect is great. 2 bonus dice.
Yes, Lival.
Wow.
The master of flame, and fire, and smoke.
Okay, so
So for the folks at home that can't see our Roll20, obviously
They can.
I just rolled. Oh, they can.
Yeah.
Oh, they can see it on the screen. Fantastic. So there's 2 6s. Great. I didn't realize they could. So is that our first? Is that our first crit that we've gotten? Have we had a crit before?
Definitely on 2 dice. I think it's the first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's probably also our first extreme effect through that, right?
Yeah. Beautiful.
well, that's pretty great. So I mean, you did this cool thing.
Loaf of bread
Describe how
hot.
it looks. Describe how this looks when you do this.
Yeah, like I said, I think that there's that thing where like I said, like I'm grabbing up that bark and I'm soaking it with the oil, and it's that thing where Dr. Boom is like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then we see the light bulb go off in his head. Yes, perfect. And he gets in there with me and starts doing it. And like we throw the first one on there, and there's maybe like a second where we're both quiet, just looking at it, because all it's doing is just going like just smoking. And then like a little bit of flame catches, and then it goes woof, and like right up, and immediately whatever effect, whatever concoction he has starts to like, we see the it starts to bubble because of that, because we know we need that boil. And I'm just feeding more of them on there. And as it's, and like it's burning down into those, like that nice bed of coals that he wants, like very like, this is a thing that takes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, something like that, all told, all through the course of it. But they get down to this like nice, like red hot bed of coals very, like much more quickly than if we had just waited for it using just regular wood that we hadn't treated like that.
Do we then like start to hear like popping sounds and start wondering what that is? And it's actually like the pines starting to prop open.
Sure.
So things that are inside of it can come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you see like this.
Except they don't like. I feel like, what did we hear? What was the noise we were hearing? Was like, Mikkel, what was the noise that we were hearing?
Bells.
Bells. Yeah, and I feel like this, like the pine cones opening can't sound like regular pine cones. It's got to sound like wind chimes or something like that. Like there's like some kind of like unnatural musical noise they make as they open up and this stuff starts to come out of it. It's not just like creaking wood and popping.
Yeah, it's like popping, and the popping echoes into what almost sounds like a faint trumpet sound, and Emilio's like,
like
that's why they're called trumpet pines.
Yeah, and it's like syncopated in time with the bells that we're starting to hear and stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I think you hear like those sounds, and out of like you see like the smoke starting to go up in like this kind of column now. And like start spreading around the forest edge, and it's as like these 15 minutes go, it's almost like you see the smoke starts moving around the trees, and there's like these kind of silhouettes of different animals, but all like these kind of animals with antlers. There's different kinds, so like there's like the deer and the moose, and even like these kind of more I don't remember what it's called, these African ones with like the straight one.
Antelopes,
yeah.
Yeah.
And you
gazelles
hear,
and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you they start like spinning around.
Reindeer. Are there reindeer too?
Of course, there must be reindeers. Cool. So, and I think all kinds of like even animals you probably never have seen before, that you're not even sure that really exists anymore, but they're here. Yeah, there is like this. You definitely like this thing happening, but it doesn't look like the ritual is complete. What do you do? And how do you react to this even?
So I'm just want to make sure here. I'm like breathing in these fumes. So like, I think that's.
Yeah, everyone who is not protected by your chemical take 2 harm.
Can I resist that?
You can resist it for individual instances of it. Yes.
Okay.
So I think I'd say that you could either resist it for Dr. Boom Emilio, or you can resist it for the rookies as one. And I think probably they would pass out of this probably.
But everyone else is protected, but
okay.
Russet and me.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So because we like figured, Russet can take it.
Yeah, I am actually. I think Russet can take it. I'm gonna give it all to you, Emilio. 2 harm and 2 corruption then.
Yeah.
Is it just you?
I want to resist some of that.
The harm or the corruption?
Actually, both. Right? So I think what happens here is once I realize, I forgot myself, right? I pull up, like I improvise something. I'm gonna use armor here so that the harm is just level 1. So yeah, I'm actually tying like a thick winter scarf around my face, and just like soaking that with like normal water, or maybe like maybe some alcohol, which is also great. And the corruption is, I think, yeah. So I start to see those things and feel like this uncanny feeling, like, am I actually here? Am I really breathing this? And I'm like, Emilio, get yourself together. This is it. It's working. This is what we need. Face it, whatever it's coming. You remember the commander? She said, we just get through this. And I want to resist it with, well, you get to say what that is. Probably resolve. That's 2 stress.
2 stress, yeah.
So yeah, I'm not knowing if these are hallucinations, if these are real or not, but I'm keeping myself together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are. But you're hearing like it's almost like someone is whispering in your ear. You should stay. You should stay with us.
Russet, they're talking. Can you hear that? These are you're kidding, right? Tell them what we need. And I'm like being completely like culturally insensitive here, right? Because I'm like putting you in this corner, and this is just like Emilia's strange expectations of what payers are like.
I mean, I think it's that Russet can hear them. They just don't like mind, because like maybe this a similar compound is used in like some of their religious rituals or something like that. But like it's much less effective because they like it's not a mysterious voice like whispering to them. It's something that like has happened before, and they can kind of like expect, and they know in a way that it's real. They're not like, is it or isn't it kind of thing.
Yeah, it is, and I think you also I mean, you don't that there is the power has been like released, but they're not directed towards anything. Like the jack is out of the box, but
I think they kind of like say to nothing in particular, we can't stay with you, but you can take this place for a time.
Yeah, this seems like a roll to me.
Yeah.
What are you rolling?
Now, Russet's incredible social skills come into play.
I know, yeah, we're all rolling with skills we don't have. I think it's
well,
sway, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
It could also be command attention amidst chaos, and then it would be martial.
Yeah,
that
also,
sounds reasonable.
Like you're commanding them, stay here, keep watch, protect this place.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. But I think commanding them has more risk than if you were swaying them. So I'm gonna put it up to a desperate here. At standard effect.
Okay.
Do you want to push for extra effect or dice?
How many ticks do we have left on the clock?
3.
So, come again. What was position effect? I missed it.
Desperate standard.
Desperate standard. Yeah, so one more level of effect would be great here.
Mm-hmm.
I only have the 1 die though, so I was thinking I should.
Doesn't matter. You only need to get a 4 or on it, 4 or higher, for us to get the 3 ticks done. So one of us could help you. I have an idea how to help.
Mm-hmm.
I think I run over to the bellows and I'm like, they've opened up. They need to release. And I take the bellows and I like start like blowing in air from the top, so the like whatever's in the open pine cones gets like pushed out and swirled up into the air.
Can I spend 2 stress to push for effect and to get an extra die, or is it one or the other?
One or the other.
Okay.
You already get 1 bonus die through this. And I don't know, do we actually is there like this, do we like see like green speckles glittering that are like getting blown up through what I'm doing? Is that the fairy dust that's inside the cones? To make this more fantastical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
And maybe they're like, it's so much that this this glittering all throughout the smoke and mist and that we've got going on gives them more and more solidity in the visions, right? Like it.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah, we'll see how this roll goes, and I'll let you.
I'm for you pushing for effect and having 2 dice and.
Okay.
So yeah, I think what's at stake here. So I think that 100% there's going to be both corruption and complication here probably. And I think the complication is probably you not getting out of, or they trying to stop you from getting out of here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's multiple things on the line, right? It's it is that like they're like running us through with their antlers and stuff like that. That's going to like, it might not harm us. It could also mean harm, but it could just mean corruption. But it's not like, it's less physical harm, more like soul or mental harm. And we could also be forced to flee here, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see with the roll first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, desperate, standard, or no, wait, sorry.
Devil's Bargain is an option, right?
Sure. If Devil's Bargain here. Well, I think
the ghost of a cat takes a strange liking to Russet and will follow them around henceforth.
I think get you take 2 harm regardless from them instead of like trying to, they will try to like they will not react kindly to your commanding either way. They might do what you want, but not without the cost. It will drain some life out of you.
And what would that achieve?
To harm
Give you an
you
extra
get-
die for the Devil's Bargain.
Maybe this is like you facing like one off directly, like squarely, like whatever it seems to be its leader or whatever.
I think actually it is the voice will respond to as you command it and say, well, nothing without a cost. I need a string of your life for this.
So if I take level 2 harm and then fail anyway, could I just die?
I mean, you could. Well, I'm not
Interesting.
really saying, I'm not necessarily saying harm is on the table here, so probably not. But I mean, you would
Okay.
have to harm and the situation wouldn't be over necessarily.
What do y'all think? Should I take the Devil's Bargain, or do you think
Hell yeah.
2 is enough?
I mean, you'll probably finish the mission if you succeed, or you're only screwed if you fail.
Okay.
And any other consequences you can still resist. Like you're accepting these 2 harm, but everything else you can still resist and spend stress on. And like, don't be afraid to trauma out.
Okay.
It's also fictionally cool if you come back from this with like a head of gray hair that you didn't go into it with.
Yeah. Okay. So I will take the Devil's Bargain. So position, desperate, effect, great, because I'm also pushing myself. And then bonus die is 2.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
That's another crit.
Aw, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you see. So I don't know. I think maybe just you see this Russet because you're well the entity speaking to you. It manifests in front of you for a second. How does it look?
This was like a shrine to the Horned One, right? Or something like that. So I think it's maybe like a previous Horned One.
Oh yeah.
So like some of the like the forms of the various animals I think kind of like coalesce into this form that is like familiar but different. And like I think the Panyar maybe have like a ritual where they greet each other by like taking each other's faces and then like touching foreheads. And it does that to Russet, and yeah, you can see like their hair starts like going gray and like wrinkles starting to like appear a little bit. And the mist, the like the shimmers in the air starts to like vibrate almost, looking kind of like a mirage sort of, and like concealing the area around.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will this spark a name change for Russet?
I think it might. It's pretty
Cool. Well, you can ponder a bit on that while I describe the rest of what's happening here. I think you see, you both like see the shadows manifesting more, and I think you it's almost like you can feel like their hooves hit the ground, in like a weirdly rhythmical sense. Like it's almost like it's like they're coordinated or something. But of course, this. I mean, I'm not sure if this is real or not, but it definitely seems very real to you. And you see the smoke like now completely clears from the whole glade, like going around the clearing, like a wall almost. Still with the like shapes of animals like running around, and this the sound of bells from the fire stops, and you see the fire die down, but still like the trampling going on, and after a while you see like there's this entity that communicated with you, Rosette. You see it like coming like out of this wall of smoke, and well, I think actually the rest of you see it too. And it do you have a name idea, Joel? Because this might be the first time someone says it.
It changes the third name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like Russet Raging Spirit or Russet Raging Soul or something like that.
Or yeah, maybe Russet Raging Fire also.
Oh yeah, that could be cool.
Cool, yeah, and I think the this like figure, it calls upon you. Russet Raging Fire, step forward. And it you see it looks. I think you see now that it looks it has the same kind of antlers as the horned one. It's not completely solid, so it's a bit difficult to say how they look, but the face is very clear. It's kind of feminine, but it's a bit hard to say if they're if they were male or female. A bit ambiguous, and they look at you and say, nobody has ever left this place invoking the smokes of the forest, but we will let you live. You paid your price. And it's like open. There's this like a small. There's like a portal of flowers manifesting in this wall of smoke, and you hear like the bells calling you to go outside the ring of smoke.
I think Russet kind of like bows their head and says, "Thank you," and then they're like, "Rookies, go." I have to be the last one out.
And that scene?
Yeah.
Nice.
That scene. Cool. And that was the mission.
Fantastic.
2 crits. Wow.
Yeah.
So now Broken Wolf.
Yes.
Secondary mission.
Let me grab it.
See how the diversion went.
Yeah. Okay. So the Shattered Lines went with Aurora and Valentina.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone oath sworn, loyal, so swan. I don't. Did the commander spend intel to give you foresight?
Nope, I used our last one on the main mission.
Okay. Not everyone is a veteran. This distrust. There's no distrust here, right? That's fine. Required specialists are there, so it's still all 1 die. The quartermasters send religious supplies to ward and protect the legionnaires.
No, we sent it on the primary.
Okay. So 1 die.
Oh.
One die. Oh. I just need 1/6.
Well, you've been very good role players, so no, you fail.
Oof. Lose 3 squad members and all specialists take level 3 harm.
And now it's for the fun job of the marshal to pick up who dies.
I mean, we'll, Alexei, Sylvester, and Ivona.
Well, I guess the lore master better show up next time. We'll have nothing to do but tell stories.
Yeah.
That's another tale. Tell a tale of hardening in battle.
So 3 die, so that's 3 moral. This also means what's the other effect of the mission? The mission failing also has an effect. +1 pressure.
Yeah, so if you take the failures first, you get +2 pressure in combined because you also failed the third mission automatically. So that's the penalties. For rewards, you get -1 time. You get +2 XP for everyone on the mission. And you get a favor, which levels up your chosen one.
Okay, so can we make sure that we do all this in order so that nothing gets missed?
Yeah.
Okay, so as the commander, I remove a time tick, right? Okay, which there's no way to easily do. That means I got to clear the whole thing and then put it back up to 1 less than it was before we started. There we go. All right, I just did that.
And you added the +2 pressure as well?
2 pressure. There we go.
So that's our penalties and the rewards that you are doing, Commander. And then there's for everyone on the mission, you just have to remember that you get 2 XP as well. So we'll go through the XP afterwards. I'll put the Mystic tick in for the Horn one, which means they are about to level up. We can do that between sessions, which ability we want to do, and present it at the start of the next one. So Paul also gets a say.
So I just want to say, top of my head, looking at that, the one where we don't have to spend food when we advance, that looks like that's at the top of my list.
I'm sure the quartermaster is not against that either. We can discuss it a little bit if we in the chat in between.
Yeah, still need to do XP.
Yep. You want to do the administer the XP?
I can guide us through that. So I think I'll just start with Emilio. So 1 XP if you survived the mission. By the way, you had a death reduction, but we'll get to that. So 1 XP if I survived the mission. If you helped your squad through medical knowledge or emotional comfort. I think medical knowledge, like with the stuff, right? Keeping people safe.
Dr. Boom, typical Dr. Boom medical knowledge right there.
Yeah. And if you brought into play your heritage or trauma, I don't have a trauma, so it could only be the heritage. What do I have connected? I don't know if I specifically did that. We did see a lot of stuff at play though, but disgraced medical student, drug dealer is what Paul wrote into Heritage.
Yep.
So I think we did see.
Yeah. I think that comes naturally with Emilio now.
And per highest threat of opponent faced.
4.
Okay, so that's actually 7. And
+2 for the mission.
So 9. Yeah.
That's a lot of XP.
Yeah. I'm gonna fill resolve. Give it another dot and discipline.
It's fun to see Dr. Boom using their discipline.
Yep.
It's not something I imagined I would see ever.
It's gotta come sometime.
Cool.
And I'm gonna also fill prowess.
Nice.
He needs a point in rec. That day will come where that's going to be a thing for Dr. Boom.
That seems much more appropriate.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about Russet?
For Russet, I rolled a desperate action in resolve. I did survive the mission, so that's 1. I don't know if I helped my squad through stealth or foresight. I tried doing the the setting up the special armor against detection to buy us time, but I'm not sure if that did anything.
I don't know. I feel like we saw quite a lot of foresight from Russet this session, and being so calm about also the spirits and stuff. In a way, it seemed to be prepared in some way. I don't know. It felt to me, and anyway. I mean, but you decide.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you say it like that, I think it was also knowing that they wouldn't need the breathing potion and all of that. And then brought into play your heritage or trauma. I think them being Panyard definitely was brought into play. And then the highest threat of opponent faced was 4. So 7?
And 2 bonus XP for the mission.
Oh, right. Yeah, so also 9, which is a lot.
Yep. And I guess our rookie is soon no rookie anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean I level up just from the 2 bonus experience points. That will put me into not a rookie anymore. But so let's see. Each time you roll a desperate action, mark XP. I did not roll any desperate actions. Mark 1 if you survive the mission. So that's 1. If you helped your squad by staying out of the way or surviving despite the odds, and I think I did probably both of those things. I certainly like I stayed out of the way until they asked me for help. I went off in the corner and chopped wood like I was supposed to. I helped get the fire going. Then I kept my head down while everybody else went and talked to the spirits and just kind of stayed out of the way as best I could. So we got 2 for that. If you brought into play your heritage or trauma, I've got the Zemyati traits loyal and stubborn. And I really feel like him volunteering to go without a mask so that he could whatever so that the specialist could have one instead. Was definitely kind of bringing that loyalty to the squad, that self-sacrifice thing into play there. So 2 for that, total of 4. Highest threat of opponent faced is another 4, so that's 8. Plus 2 bonus is a total of 10. So with 2, I click not a rookie anymore. and promote. And so what did that just do? That just, that leveled me up to everything. So yeah, cool. You are promoted.
Exactly. So you're a soldier now, and you can immediately take one of those special abilities.
Got it. Okay.
I feel like I want to have the promotion ceremony for him. It feels like someone we've seen on screen a lot, and we haven't done it for a while.
But it might be a good thing to start on next time too.
I'm
Loaded for bear or Iron Will. Okay.
No, I'm taking Iron Will. Like totally. Like I think we've like he's seen more shit as a rookie.
Yeah.
Than like most of the specialists have. And just kind of come through it relatively, like, not, I don't want to say unscathed, but relatively unfazed, right? He seems like still pretty just like kind of go with the flow, mellow kind of guy.
The world is a magical place, right, Lionel?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. So I can spend grit uses as special armor versus fear, paralysis, corruption, and fatigue. I clear that. Shit, and I've got, I could throw down another.
I mean,
I could promote to specialist, couldn't I?
You might have to check if you have the amount of attribute points that you need to.
Okay.
Because you need to have like the same amount as the starting one of the specialist.
Got it. Okay.
I think it's likely that he does that because he has jack of all trades.
Okay. Maybe, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately
6 and inside
to get another point of grit.
Nice.
Do that.
You still have
and I've got 2 left, which I'll put into resolve.
Cool.
There we go. All right.
Cool. Yeah. Levels like nice.
Yeah, that was today's session. We'll do a small round around our virtual table, do our plugs and places where we can be found for things if you need them from us. And that's going to be it for this session. So I can start. Thanks all for watching. It's been it was a very fun session. I really enjoyed to do this occasional non-combaty things. So that was a lot of fun. And also I got to be do weird stuff, which I always enjoy. You can find me at Mikael Tusveld on Twitter. I sometimes tweet about games and stuff, and I don't know. I haven't watched my Twitter feed, so I'm not sure other things I tweet about, but mostly games, I guess. I am currently in the process of building a kind of platform on Discord where you can play and put up games. So I'm gonna do some kind of tweet on that, so you can join if you want. There's gonna be some tweets about that, I guess, at some point. I am not extremely professional with my social media, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun games there. Soon. I'm playing Downfall next week, I think, so it's going to be fun. You want to go next, Matthias?
Yeah, you can find me at mthsplgr on Twitter. Here again, I think it's in 2 weeks is our next session, or is it next week? I don't know. I'm not. We need to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
And announcements will come up. Nothing has been super clear and fixed yet what else is happening, but yeah, catch me on Twitter, and thank you for watching. Was a fun session again.
You want to go next, Joel?
Yep. I'm Joelle. You can find me at DineJoelle on Twitter. I haven't been using it that much lately, but I'm working on another D&D module based off of kind of like ghost ships and the Return of the Obra Dinn and all of that stuff. So once that's posted, you'll be able to find that and my previous adventure, A Place to Call Home, on DM's Guild with my same name, Joel Van Dyne. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. Super fun and spooky today. That's about it.
Yeah, and Jim.
Hey, I am Jim. I committed the faux pas of telling people where to find me before when we introduced ourselves, but I'll do it again anyways. When I am not actually playing games online, which I really enjoyed. This was an awesome session, by the way. I'm so happy to be back to these characters and making the terrible, terrible mistake of getting very attached to the character that I played today, because they're just that is almost certainly a ticket to disappointment with this game, but who knows? We'll see who lives through to the end of it. But I'm a game retailer. I've got a lot of games behind me here. I go around to conventions all around the United States, up and down the East Coast and in the Midwest. And next week, I'll be driving all the way to Texas to go to PAX South. So anybody that is watching this from the Great American Southwest, stop by our booth in San Antonio. We're in Tabletop 16. I will be there with my friends from Indie Press Revolution and have a lot of Goodman Games stuff as well. So if you're a Dungeon Crawl Classics OSR fan, or you're into any of this kind of stuff, if you want to buy this very game, Band of Blades, we will have that on sale at that booth at PAX South in San Antonio, Texas next week. So I won't be here next Thursday. If we do have a game, that means someone will be stepping in as the commander. But it's a long drive there, a long drive back. It's kind of an adventure. I've never done a show that far away, so I'm really looking forward to see how it all goes. I'm going to drive through a bunch of states I've never visited before.
Awesome.
So should be a lot of fun. You can find me on Twitter at Jim Likes Games, just like it sounds, and online jimlikesgames.com.
Yeah, and you also have a podcast where I'm still waiting for a review of this.
Yes. So like I had a whole bunch of cons kind of piled on top of each other, so I didn't really get to record many episodes of Just Played. My little podcast is like 15-20 minute recaps of game sessions that I've played. I have not covered this game yet. I kind of wanted to make sure we had like all of us, so I can get into it. But if that's something you're looking forward to, then definitely I will make sure that I get one of our more exciting sessions. I'll do a recap of that and put it up on Just Played. You can find that on all your various podcatchers, Apple Podcasts and stuff, under Just Played, just like it sounds. It's an RPG recap podcast.
Cool. I am looking very much forward to that, because I really enjoy this game, and all the content I get about it is fun for me. So I'm looking forward to that. So and also looking forward to next session. So I hope to see all of you who's been watching this there as well. Until then, bye folks.
Bye.